Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the one and only and amazing Beth Traverso. How you doing, Beth?
Hi, Michael. Doing great. Thanks so much for having me here today. Always nice to be back here every week.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing about your market. I got to tell you, Omar, who I speak with the hour before you and I
Yeah.
catch up, dropped a little nugget on me, and his
Ooh.
days on market in his Southern California market jumped to 60.
Oh,
Right,
wow.
2 months ago it was under 20. So his
Wow.
his transactions are crashing and inventory is stacking up. So under
Our,
that lens, how's your market?
yeah. Well, I feel like we sort of are kind of maybe at an accelerated pace. I feel like we sort of saw the fastest run up, fastest drop, fastest. I feel like we're pulling through it a little faster too.
All
Could
right.
be could be wrong,
Yeah.
but that's what it feels like to me and that's what it looks like to me. Our days on market still relatively low. It was about, I don't, King County, I think it's about 13 days on market
Oh wow.
overall. But I am seeing a lot of houses out there that are, it's one or the other. So houses are selling in maybe 3 days, or they might be selling in 40, 50, 60 days. It all depends on a few different factors. So, um, one thing consistent trend that I have seen is that the houses that are coming on the market now that have a certain it factor, the
Mhm.
ones that are not cookie cutter or just one of many, those are the ones that are selling fast and are selling strong. And so just from my own experience personally, there I had two listings that came on last Thursday, and both of them had a little something different about them. Like one had, an acre and a beautiful outdoor space and a RV spot and permitting for a shop, which is hard to get in our area.
Mhm.
And then another one was, had an extra building and a pasture and the whole land set up, and where I am in the more rural area, that is what people are looking for. And both of them sold very quickly with a high level of interest. By the time Saturday rolled around, both of them were pending.
Wow.
So
List
yeah,
Thursday, in contract. That is Beth Traverso for you folks
yeah.
right there.
And those were the ones that were kind of right around our sort of a median price in the area. One was 1,050,000 and one was 1,003,000.
Okay.
Which in our area is kind of in that area. That's in that zone that we've been talking about that has no listings right now, too. So
Mhm.
we've got the lower end ones, we've got the luxury ones, kind of bracketing, and then the ones in the middle, there's very little available. And then of those, the ones that come on that meet that check the boxes, because both of those ones were people that I kind of gotten to know some of these agents and their buyers because they've been around other listings of mine, and because it's a small world out there, and they're like, yep, we've been looking for a while and this is the one, and they don't want to miss it. So, and then people are starting to see things getting snatched up a little more quickly.
I,
So I think
I'm
we just
curious,
have got to keep our
million
days on market
dollar
down. Yeah.
million dollar properties. I'm just curious about the buyers. And if you don't know, it's totally cool, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Are they coming in with cash? They putting 50% down? What are these buyers doing in a
One
world
was
that's
cash and the other one was 20% down. So there's still a lot of cash out there, and it's often from people
yeah,
who sold their house already and they just been waiting around, living in an apartment or something.
got it.
And they're
So they've
just
been waiting for the it house.
they've been waiting for just the right house, and then they're starting to see the ones that have the it factor are selling quickly and they can't mess around, and so they're just coming in strong, snatching it up. And of those two, the other one was a 20% down, typical buyer. And that one too is somebody who'd been circling around for a while, just kind of looking for the right thing. It's a lifestyle move.
Right.
So, they're motivated by wanting a change in the way they live. So, and they've both been just kind of waiting in the wings, and people can't wait forever. Some people
Right.
can, but some people can't. They've got, they get kids they need to get settled in school. They got life that goes on, and they're out there looking, and they're eager. So,
Yeah. But again, this is the median. This is what I love real estate, right? Because I do think there are three markets. There's first time home buyer homes, which I'll call 75% of the median, right? Somewhere around that. Then
yeah.
there's the median, and then there's luxury. And at least in my market, it'd be interesting to hear what you have to say. My market, luxury, which I consider 2x the median, is the slowest. And actually, if we were to break it out, which they don't, MLSs don't do, I'm going to guess has the highest days on market
Hmm.
and probably also has the highest net change in days on market. Because I guess I would argue it always has the highest, but it also has the highest net change.
Right.
Do you see that in your market too, or maybe it's
Yeah,
different?
I do, and I would agree with that. I mean, the luxury home buyers, they've always been a smaller buyer pool, and they've always been people who don't have to move. They usually already have a great
Yeah, they already
house.
got something. Yeah,
They're
exactly.
living someplace amazing and they're not in any hurry, but if they see something even more amazing and everything aligns, maybe they'll buy it, maybe they won't.
Yeah.
So we were seeing, just like earlier this year when everything was flying off the shelf with multiple offers and bidding wars, those houses were selling for sometimes, in astronomical amounts over list.
Right.
It wouldn't be unusual for something to sell for 500 or more thousand over the list price, and that was then. Now they are there is more inventory at that price point that's like 2x plus the median. And a lot of them do have market times of 90 days, 100
Yeah.
days or more, and that's not necessarily unusual, but
Oh,
there's
right.
just
Yeah.
more of them. And I'm seeing bigger price drops too, and in that price point in my market, I've always said it has to be about 5% to bring anybody off the, or 3 to 5% to be compelling to bring new buyers in.
Mhm.
And I am seeing some pretty big price drops like that. So if something is, say, 2.5 million, somebody might drop it down to 2.35, or we're seeing, big drops. When people do drops, it has to be at least a
Significant. Yeah. We're not
hundred
talking 10 grand or
or
something.
yeah, like it can't be 10 grand. I see in some other areas when I'm kind of poking around on Zillow or whatever, just kind of seeing other markets. I notice sometimes I'll see very small price changes and new listings with these small price. And sometimes people do that just to get it to pop up on the search
Right.
engines again. But I don't think that really is tricking anybody, and people see
No.
that and it's like, oh, okay, now it was 495, now it's 490. Okay, I don't really know if it's bringing any new buyers in, but
Yeah.
so I am seeing that still. It's like when people are doing price reductions or relisting a property, that it's a pretty influential price change. Impactful is the word I'm looking for. Price change.
Yeah. The last thing we'll talk about in this episode number 2 is the first time home buyers. I think it's fair to say across the country they've been destroyed by higher rates. Rates got as high as in the sevens. Thankfully, they've dropped a little bit in the last week or so now, 6, 7. I think the magic number is sub 6 to kind of pull up or out some of those first time home buyers. Do you think 6 does it, or do you think we have to go all the way to 5 to bring back first time home
Oh
buyers?
no, I think 6 does it. I think as soon as in my area, I think as soon as people see that things are heading in a positive direction, and I think 6 would do it, because we were starting to see that in the summertime when
Right. I
I
remember
forget exactly what month that was, but when
June,
things were,
July, June, July.
yeah. So we had a bit of a bump when things were going down a little bit. All of a sudden, we did
Mhm.
all of a sudden have a little mini rush where a
I
lot of
remember.
houses went off the market. We were able to clear out a lot of that stale inventory, and buyers were jumping back in. So I think they can, in my area, I think a lot of times they can afford it, especially if it's two borrowers that have decent jobs. But yeah, just the 7%, it was so fast, so much so fast that it's just still taking a while for people to adjust to that. And I think that was the point. But
Yeah, I think that was the goal. Let's
yeah.
break
They
housing.
didn't
Let's
just do
just
it
break
just
it.
because. Yeah. And so yeah, so all right, point taken, impact felt. And I think,
Congratulations. Yeah.
yeah. So I am, and I know I've had a couple first time buyers reach out to me yesterday who are just kind of starting to get ready. So people are starting to make their plans for next year. So we're having those discussions about, let's get you pre-approved with a lender and let's figure out what's going to work for you. And then we can figure out if you need to have buy downs or credits or all of the above, right? Like we've talked about. So I love that, and first time buyers are, ready to get in there. I think that this is a really, there's always gonna be somebody who's going to argue with me on this, but I do feel like this is a more advantageous time for the first time buyer than we've seen in a while, even with the rates. Because it's always, before it wasn't the rates, but it was just, you couldn't even get an offer accepted unless you were cash
Yeah. Yeah.
and waiving everything. So
Yeah.
you don't have to do that
It's,
now.
no, FOMO is a
Mhm.
problem when you get into that kind of highly
Yeah.
competitive environment. You do
Yeah.
unwise things. So, Beth, do me a favor. First time home buyer seller wants to work with you because you are the best in your area. How would they reach out?
Yeah, they could reach out to me through bethtraversogroup.com.
Thank you so much.